Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
So how does she make this if she's?
I know,
I'm gonna
it's
take-
terrible.
Oh, okay, good.
I'll
Your
take
lips are all dry, your face is
Yes.
terrible.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
no problem.
Can I start whenever or?
Yeah, they're waiting on you.
It was not my fault. I was telling everybody, I don't really know how to manage this. I have two handsome and beautiful people here. I have several people on the Zoom. I have a better front than back, so I apologize ahead of time. I have my tissue because I'm old and my nose just starts running for no reason. I'm gonna put my phone up so that I can focus on, I just brought my pocketbook in so I can put lipstick on. I got my water. So the most important thing about this class for me, I hate to admit this, was what was I gonna wear? I was like, oh my God, I'm teaching a class, what am I gonna wear? And then my husband said, well, you have any curriculum? I was like, oh yeah, I have curriculum. So you see, other than doing first-time homebuyer seminars, I'm not an instructor. So what I plan to do is just give you my experience on customer service. So the first thing I think I should cover is you can't give great customer service if you don't have a customer, right? So my big thing about customer service is marketing. How do I attract that person? There's a lot of competition out here. It's almost like a hair salon. There's one on every corner, one agent on every corner. I'm like, instead of fighting them, because I'm not good at fighting, I got to join them, right? But what do I do that's more outstanding than the next person? I treat my marketing like it's a piece of furniture in my home. So it has to be outstanding because I'm a perfectionist in an imperfect world, right? So my thing was, how can I make my brand of marketing speak for me? Because before you meet me, you need to see like, what does she offer? So if you look at my website, it is a reflection of who I am. I structured it. I was on the team of people that put it together. I got to make changes whenever I wanted to, and of course I had to pay for it. And with that was my name badge, my my signage, my business cards, everything to reflect what you're going to get if you do business with me. And I'll just pass my card out so that we're just talking about a little branding so that we can get customers, so that we could offer great customer service. How are you doing? So so what I did was that to me started my, okay, maybe I can attract business this way. Then people will want to meet me when I pass out a card. If it's a really nice card, maybe they won't trash it when I walk away, when I throw my cards out at a game, when we used to go to games, because I would do crazy stuff like that, just stand up and throw cards out, and hope that all of them didn't get swept up. Then you get the customer, okay, and it might be a buyer or seller. I'm not sure what all my audience works with, but I'm a general broker. Let me just say this too. Let me introduce myself. So my name is Sondra Trice-Jones. The Trice was the first 50 years, and then I got married. So I honor him with taking his name, probably not for the next 50, but my insurance is till I'm 94. So I need to be gone by then or nobody's gonna get anything. So, and I am the managing broker of my own firm called Ultra Realty, and we're now an affiliate of Keller Williams. Our office is on the corner there. And I think we're across from Ruby Henderson's team here in the office in Raleigh. And I love it. I love real estate. I got my license in 2013. I should have got it in like 2012, but that wasn't my journey. I was closing one business and getting into the profession of real estate. And I have 2 hours, so I could like talk about my granddaughter. No, because I'm definitely one of those instructors that are gonna let you out early. So I've managed my team. Well, it's just been really me for a long time. And then I decided that I was gonna have a team. But first I needed to build structure. I'm a business person before I'm a real estate agent. I've been in business for myself since 87, doing something. I came out of college early, didn't think that was for me. Was embarrassed for a long time to even say that, because I'm like, college degree. And then one day I got this letter from my alma mater, because I didn't know you were like an alumni, even if you drop out of college. I thought, oh, you're a nobody, that you didn't finish college. They sent me a letter and said, go Spartans. And I was like, for a donation, of course. I felt so like excited about that I did make a donation.
It worked.
Exactly. As a business, you should always find something that you want to contribute to in your community anyway, because giving back is how you get business, blessings, all of that. And if you haven't gotten one yet, just wait, because they're coming. I don't want to get into that part because we just had Bible study in here. So if you missed Bible study, but I think the most important part about real estate, and because I'm going to jump around a little bit, I do want to talk about who I am though. I am a mother. I'm a new wife. Well, we're celebrating our 5th year, but it still feels new to me. I have a great husband. That's a whole nother class. I can teach that. I can teach relationship class, and if anybody wants to come back for that. And then I have 2 children. My son is my own son, and then he has a daughter who's my daughter. My son is 27. My daughter is 23. She graduated from Meredith College, and is trying to figure out like now what. So whenever I get a call from her, I kind of cringe because it's either that she wants me to buy her something and she's trying to talk me into it, or like I can tell that she's getting ready to maybe make a bad decision. So I'm still working on that. My son, he's 27. Since I raised him, I kind of know him in and out, how you are as a mother. And he's an introvert. So staying in the house is his most comfortable place, but he has a wife that he married, high school sweetheart. So they were together total now 13 years. Around that. I can't keep up with my own stuff. So, I have to ask him every once in a while, like, how long were you, So they got married the year after I had my second marriage. And it was just the cutest thing because they were going to get married in the park. It was hot as heck. So my granddaughter's a Valentine baby. So she was due in November. It's going to be cold. They're trying to get married to appease us before the baby comes at least. I'm like, I'm not coming out in the park to have a wedding, so this is all about me now. And so they end up getting married at, I'm a member of the club, like the Capitol Club downtown, and they're all over. So they ended up getting married there just in a small room. It was very intimate. And I'm just totally proud of them. Like they're 27 and 26. They have a 3-year-old daughter. She's so smart. She woke up and told me when we were together last weekend, I'm ready to see my parents. So I was like, was it my armpit? Because she's right under me. But yeah, so I mean, every time I'm with her, I see like these kids are really like, it's unbelievable. She can take my phone and play a game and all kinds of, things that I wouldn't have even thought of, or that I can phantom that a little child would be able to do. And she's not been around any other kids this last year, so that's even more amazing that I thought it took your peers for you to kind of learn how to talk and how to make good decisions and things like that. The pandemic has affected children in that they're playing off by themselves rather than with each other. So they have to keep redirecting my granddaughter to go back with the crowd and play with them, and she's very friendly and she loves children. I've had my own experience where I was taking her into the school and a little boy was crying and she dropped my hand. I'm like, where is she going? She drops my hand and goes to the little boy and says, it's gonna be okay. And walks him into his classroom. Like, I don't get to see them, but I just see them walking down the hall. And so I got the backstory that the teacher had to tell her, okay, Autumn, it's time to go to your class now. But just a caretaker, like her grandmother. So I won't take up too much time talking about me, but I do want you to get to know me because customer service is, well, let me change that around. Everybody that has a real estate license won't be good at this. So when we look at all the numbers and all the competition, there's like 100 and something thousand real estate agents just in the state of North Carolina. I just saw that in our bulletin the other day. But all of them won't be as good as you or me or you or you or you if you don't challenge and hone into customer service. Because like I said, they're agents a dime a dozen. And people are looking for what they don't know from you. Okay, if you're the expert, show me how you're the, I already found the house on the MLS, or the, not MLS, but the Zillow and the Truliers and the Realtor.com. I already found my house, so what do I need you for? I need to know that. And I do like to explain that for the moment, buyer's agents basically are free because we negotiate on our contract that the seller will pay our commission, but so, okay, that's fine. Then why do you want to work for me then? Well, you need somebody that practices real estate and is an expert at filling out forms, negotiating, doing all the back office stuff that you never even know about and we don't share about because it's almost like waiting for the taxi to come and you're like, where the heck is the taxi? I mean, it's supposed to be here 10 minutes ago. I don't understand. When the taxi pulls up, you're like, yay! You forget all about, like, I was just waiting 20 minutes for this taxi. I'm just happy that it's here, right? So I don't know if that was a good analogy, but but it's like people are just trying to see like what the benefit is of agents. We have that stigma that we don't do anything for all this money, and I'm like, first of all, a buyer, if you're not paying it, why are you worried about it? Aren't you more concerned about me getting you to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, to make sure that you're secured in a house that is as pristine as it can be, that the meat and potatoes of it works, that I've come with you to all of your appointments and micromanage things on the back office. Sometimes I say, if everybody on the team is pissed off, but the client is happy, I've done my job. Maybe I'm taking a risk that I don't get to work with that agent anymore. Or maybe I'm taking a risk that, I never do this because I'm not gonna stand before the commission. But I know my limitations, but I also try to study so that, and I have a broker in charge, I have I've never had to call the North Carolina Commission, but unless Sharon has told me, you need to call the attorney. That's their question. But we have enough support that the back office stuff, takes care of itself. What we do have to do after we secure the client is assure them that, we're going to get them to the end of the contract and to close, right? So interacting with your client is so important to me. Like, it's just not that first phone call. It's not that first meeting with them. And to be honest with you, I don't even really have a lot of buyer or seller appointments. It's basically talking to people over the phone. If they prefer to talk on Zoom, that's fine. But literally, I'm not doing a whole lot of conversation with them because I'm a talkative person. And I can talk you into balancing a water bottle on your head. So immediately I need to talk about the Working with Real Estate Agent brochure because you're gonna share something personal. And I'm not gonna know when that's gonna happen, right? So I'm explaining that initially, like before we talk, let me talk to you about this brochure. And I keep saying brochure, 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 because my thing is, I don't ever want anybody to feel like they can't sign the brochure, because if I can't get them to sign the brochure, how am I gonna get them to sign the contract? If they won't even sign the brochure, it's just a brochure. You know, so you gotta keep talking about that for me, right? And customer service for me is making somebody feel like whatever we're buying or whatever they're selling, we're together in it. This is now my house, Mr. Seller, until we close. This is the house that we're looking for, buyer. I'm one of those agents that will say, I cannot leave you here. This is not the house for you. Yeah, am I that person that they say, don't be? Let the person choose their house. Well, some houses, you have to just step in front of them and say, okay, we made a bad choice. We have great photographers in real estate. Come on, let's go. You know, I mean, because why waste time? When you waste your buyer and your seller's time, you're wasting your time too. I believe in the, 5 houses and one of them is yours. I gotta convince the buyer that that's one of those 5 houses are theirs. Because one thing we'll never have control over is somebody else. That's impossible. And I don't care what script you use. Or what personality will you take in to match up with your client. Sometimes it just has not worked for me. Now, I've only been in this business for 14 is when I started. It's 20. So, it seems like just yesterday. In 6 years, I didn't feel like that was a long time when I would hear other agents say, oh, I've just only been in the business for 5 years. That's a long time. It's like dog years or something. I got gray hair, wrinkles, and everything from, stressing about other people's stuff. But that's when customer service comes in, because if you don't care, that's cool. But I do care. I do care about my reputation. I care about my brand. I care about my, people. I know people in the community that I live in. So even if I don't know you personally, that thing that they say about the world, somebody knows that person that knows you kind of, and especially with this social media stuff, when I see people that are friends of other people, I'm like, oh my God, let me connect with them. I knew that, it's just like, it's amazing, so whatever dots we're not capable of connecting, that social media will help us connect that. And so, and that's big too, because customer service is about people seeing you before they meet you. So a lot of times when people call me on the phone about business, they are, oh, I saw your website. Oh, I know about you. I heard such and such, and I'm like, yeesh, because I'm like sitting up from that information. Like, I need to really be on my P's and Q's. I might be in my jammies, because I'm learning just now to have a cutoff time with people not monopolizing my time, and saying, like, I've heard an agent yesterday say, I don't talk to people on the weekend. And I was like, I thought unless you're a hairstylist, you have to, no, I've always worked on the weekend, so I thought, how could he say he doesn't show houses and stuff like that? I thought that's when we do that. I try to take on Fridays to get my hair done. And so, because customer service, you have to be presentable, right? I don't show houses in jeans or shorts or t-shirts. So, and I'll share why I don't. But I'm thinking I need to really be prepared for the weekend. He says he doesn't show houses at all on the weekend. Well, a part of customer service is managing your client's time as well as your own. So sometimes I don't want to work, but something's come up on the MLS. We already know about inventory and how very low it is, and that, people are saying, inventory houses go, under contract in a day. Well, I've seen them go into contract in hours. So, it's not about us having the ability to manage our time anymore. We have to go and we can't send our clients to properties without us. So, we don't really have a choice a whole lot of days. But it would be bad customer service to say, we need to schedule this on Saturday, knowing that that property may not even be available. And clients do hold you accountable. I could have bought that house. Maybe we would have went in and they made another decision when they got in. It wasn't as impressive. Again, I say that photographers are great in our business, but that's not up to me to decide, So a lot of times I am working, not on my time, but on other people's. And I joke about that a lot because, when you have a husband or a wife, they're like, we're having dinner. We promised we'd be off our phones. And I'm like, okay, but I promise I pay these bills with you too, So, and so they learn how to get with the program when it comes to our business. As long as we show them that it's a career and not a hustle, they get that, this is my bread and butter and this is what I do and love, and I don't, I'm not calling you when you're at your 9 to 5. I understand that I'll have my alone time with you when you get home. So, all right, so we talked about just interacting with the clients and how to.
Can I ask the question?
Certainly.
As a brand new agent, and you're teaching them about, talking to them about I know you personally, so, but as a brand new agent and you're out here and you don't have maybe the skills to hone in for a customer service, thing, what are those things? What would you consider that they need to have in order to hone in on their skills so that way what's their value? When you're brand new, you're trying to figure out if you have a value because you're brand new to this career. So what do they need to have whenever, as far as accountability and showing up? If they have a buyer, what are those things that they have to come to the table with when they're sitting down across from that buyer and saying, this is what I'm gonna offer you, because that's what customer service is about. What are you gonna offer me to let me know that you'll be the agent for me to choose to work with to buy something?
So I know what Sharon's doing. She's bringing me back to this conversation. Again, I'm not an instructor,
She is.
so I'm sharing about my experience.
They're loving it.
But I get that we're all here to learn, how to make this happen for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So as a new agent, for me, what I did initially was I listened a lot. And when I sat across from somebody, I didn't act like I knew everything. I would share. My biggest thing was if someone said, how long have you been doing this? That's the worst question ever. It could do you in.
Right.
And I wish I would have came up with this because I consider myself pretty intelligent, but he said to me at one of these like little places where we used to all get together and hang out for one reason or another. And I give all my drink tickets away because I don't drink. That's how I would meet other brokers, And so since I gave my ticket to him, he felt obligated to talk to me. And he asked me like, how long have you been doing this? And I said, I just started last year. And he was like, don't say that ever again. I said, oh, okay. I'm open. He said, when somebody asks you how long you've been doing it, you say, it seems like forever. And it could seem like forever because yesterday could have been a really bad day or full of engaging with real estate needs, right? So that I didn't feel as I'm a Baptist Christian. I didn't feel like I was telling a story saying that, because that's the first thing that came to my mind. I haven't been doing it forever though. But I couldn't say it because, it does.
Some days.
Exactly, right. And so that's fine. So that would be my biggest thing when you're talking to your clients, because they want to know how long you've been in the business. They may have even looked it up because you can Google anything. And I remember posting all these great pictures when I passed, right? And all this, I'd be on the, my first agency that I went to, first firm was Keller Williams, and we had this great elevator and we were on I don't remember what floor in Briar Creek. And so I had time to do all these things. And I see, first day, you know, second day, you know, taking pictures. So they got a whole, you know.
They knew I love you.
Exactly, they got a whole calendar of events on me. So I do say it seems like forever, but I've got a great team around me. So anything that I don't know, I can find out, you know, and it won't take me long to do that. I never want to put myself in a situation where I'm not delivering what I say. So I don't give any definitive answers to things that I don't know. So I say, it won't take me long to find out. Instead of saying, I'll have that answer for you in a couple of hours or later on tonight or tomorrow. Because then it puts me in a pigeonhole that I've got to get that done. And I've already let you down. When I'm talking about, the other thing that was very intimidating for me initially was the forms. Like I had seen people share about and go over the forms with their clients in so many different ways. Like I saw a girl turn the form around, you know, the offer to purchase and contract and the buyer agency agreement and the working with, and she's, and I was like, I can never do that. I have a terrible memory. I smoked marijuana when I was a kid. I can't remember that, you know? So I'm like, that stuff really does burn your brain cells out. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just tell you the most important parts about this, this form, the things that, you know, you have questions about. And stop me if you need me to, you know, reiterate if I'm not talking about number 7 and you want some more information about number 7. Dual agency has to be explained. Why are we doing a 6-month contract? You know, oh, well, why are we doing a year? Well, you talked to me about new construction. I don't think I can find it and then negotiate it and get it built in a 6-month period. So then you have to talk to them about what that looks like, you know, and why you need to be there through that whole process. And I always share this. And I don't know if this is good or bad, but I think the stress and the pressure of signing a contract with somebody is, okay, so what if it doesn't work out with us? What if I give up on buying a house or selling my house? You know, are you gonna take me to court? You know, how do I get out of this? Because everybody knows it's easier to give a check than to get it back, right? To put something down on something, but then to get a refund takes quite just as long, right? So I definitely, and I stand by this, I'm not going to court to make you be my buyer. I'm not going to court to keep my listing. What I will do is I will suggest at that table that if things don't work out with us, what I will do is at that point, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna know each other, and I'm going to find someone. I'm gonna interview 3 agents, and I'm gonna find someone that'll work better for you. That way I can still get my referral money. You know,
Right.
you always gotta be thinking business, and sometimes it may not work out. The first termination I got, I was like, well, wait a minute, I don't even know what the termination form is. I gotta find that, you know, and I was devastated because I took it personal, but it wasn't. You know, it wasn't personal, and so terminating contract is a whole nother, because you gotta do customer service. You still gotta do that with a smile, you know, because you never know, like, okay, if it didn't work out, but you could see me working with somebody in your family or a friend or a colleague, you still may refer. If I don't take it personal, if I'm not like, you find a termination, you know, that kind of thing, you know, so that speaks to, okay, she was showing up so nice, but now things aren't working out, and now I'm seeing a different Sondra, you know? So temperament, I think, is really important too, showing up, letting people, I mean, doing things with a smile, even if they're asking you, you know, for things that are not in your realm of expertise, not stuff that you do. Like I had a little old lady, she was always climbing up in the attic, and I'm like, why is she always going in the attic, you know? But I'm pushing her up there, holding her up, you know, because this is a part of customer service, you know? So that new agent will have a lot of new experiences. Every deal is different. as long as you show up the same, and that's, giving 100% of yourself, I think that's really important. Referrals are everything. And when I say not making a referral happen, but when someone that you've worked with refers someone else to you, that speaks volume about what transpired between you, their journey. So that's really important to me. I was on the Zoom call yesterday, the customer experience call. How many people were on that?
I hope they sent another recording. I missed it.
Oh, yeah.
Customer experience.
Yeah, it was a customer experience call. Was anybody on that call? Any raise of hands? Thanks, Wendy. Okay, so on that call, he mentioned that 80% of repeat business comes from great customer service. 80%, that's a lot, that could be, well, yeah, let me leave the math alone. I started about down here, maybe I was having trouble. So, and if you look up in the dictionary, customer service is taken care of. So, that could say many things, but as long as I keep that in my head, I need to take care of them when it comes to this. I need to take care of them when it comes to that. I need to take care of myself and shut down this point of conversation and move on to something else before I lose the buyer. A big thing that's been happening lately for me and showing a lot of houses, because there's so little inventory, that you're doing all these multiple offers and not getting them for your buyer. I mean, I had my recent buyer that just went under contract. I'm gonna share this experience. So we went under contract, I think it was before Christmas. So I'm in this for 90 days with her, looking for a house. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was the beginning of the year, January 11th. And, cause you can't remember everybody. When thank God if you have enough business. So January the 11th, we went under contract, and she was looking for a home. Now, I knew her from a friend, and I had talked to her because I talk about real estate everywhere. We was talking about real estate, and she needed to sell a townhouse that they had in Maryland, where they were from. And so what I did that year was I interviewed 3 different Keller Williams agents, and found one for her in the area where her home was. She listed the house. I didn't have to do anything, and I made a commission off of that. And I think her house was sold at upwards of $300,000. Okay, so that was that year. Now I'm still talking to her every 6 months. I'm texting her a little message. Hey, you ready? Happy birthday. Aren't you ready? You're a year older now. We're ready to buy that house, Merry Christmas. Don't you want to give your kids, and now the kids are graduating. So now I'm like, okay, we need to move out of that big, house. And I didn't even know she was renting her home here. That she hadn't even made a decision of where she would live, because some things, people don't share with you, so you don't know. You can only use what you know, right? Mm-hmm. So she finally says in January, okay, we're ready to buy a house. We're not sure about square footage. The kids are gone, but they're going to be coming back, and I'm going to have grandchildren, and we don't want to be moving a lot, this, that, and the other. So we finally decide she wants to stay in Durham. So, I mean, I didn't do that to her, but when I was on the phone. So, I might even say curse word, but, so I gotta find her this house, right? And, initially I set up the search engine, customer service. Setting up a search engine doesn't mean that you just leave your clients off. You don't leave your clients off. Sorry, my whole arm had something to say. You don't leave your clients all willy-nilly, right, looking at the search engine. You got to look at the search engine too. Choose a couple of things that you feel like they should see. I hate doing that because I'm like, oh, they're not gonna like this bathroom, but they're gonna love the deck. And they wanted a front porch and that kind of stuff. But you have to do that, just put it out there. I never think that I'm gonna actually lock them on the first house, because we're really trying to see what they like and what they don't like. I have done that before, but I'm just as shocked when I'm in the car, I'm like, you know, when they're driving off, you gotta do that, shake the car a little bit. And, I don't know what I just did, sorry. But you gotta shake the car a little bit, because you're excited, because this is something that you love to do, and you're actually doing it, you know, you're making somebody happy. So, so I forgot what I was talking about. I knew that was gonna happen too. 55, I'll be 56 March the 13th.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, you know, my brains are like, everything's like, I've been friends for a long time, you know. So,
I love it.
I know, it's been amazing, whole nother class. So, okay, so I make an offer on a house for her, right? Offer number one, 5,000 in due diligence, 310, was the first house. She was, so she had a $400,000 pre-approval letter. She was saying at first she wanted to stay under 350. I said, okay, I'm gonna set up, I already know what's happening. I'm gonna set up a search engine for 350, right? And I'm going to take her to see these things under 350, right? And she's gonna see that there's not a lot of inventory, and she's at a sweet spot between 310 and 350 is a sweet spot, and she's gonna get tired of being outbid. Well, that was the first house. So we went 310, the house was on market 310, we went 320, 5,000 in due diligence, 30-day close. Didn't get it. Okay, so I'm saying, I think you need to up your due diligence. You're asking somebody to put unrefundable money out there, right? And the only time that I want you to do this though, is if the house is fairly new, because we don't know if it's structurally sound or anything like that. And I'm gonna recommend that if we get this house, we're going to get a warranty, a home warranty for the first year. And you will buy it, because you can't ask the seller to buy it, because we're really trying to be competitive. So you can't ask for nothing these days, you know? So the next house comes up, and I don't remember the price point, we went over 15,000, right? Now I'm like, I'm selling agent, listing agent, is this house really gonna appraise for 15 over? Well, no, so we need to talk about that. Okay, what? Will your buyer be able to come up and pay, you know, what are they willing to pay to bring, you know, because my client has said, whatever the offer is, they're not gonna go down. Well, then why did your client put the house on the market for over 15? You know, this is getting crazy, this real estate world, right? Because, you know, we already know what's gonna happen in the future is that we're gonna be struggling to get people out of these houses that they paid over, they have no equity, foreclosures coming, all of that stuff, you know? But we're just trying to figure out how to get them in now. Okay, so that's the second house. Third house, same thing. Now we're in 15, 6,000. She was like, okay, put another $1,000. You know, I'm like, okay, like have another drink. You know, so fourth contract in her neighborhood. And I'm like, why do you even want to live in Durham, you know, at this point? Because here's my mindset as an agent. Once I've done all these multiple offers, I'm talking to you about new construction. It's taking me just as long, you know, I'm still not getting paid. So let me try to put you in something that may be a spec home, something that you can close in a couple of months, or, you know, I mean, because I'm talking to you like this is real estate business agent to agent, not what I'm talking to her about, you know. So I'm thinking now, in order to keep her engaged in buying a home, because some people will say, I had enough of this. I'm just gonna sign a lease for another year, and I'm like, oh no, because I put in a lot of work at this point, and so have you, but you're like the taxi cab, you're past that. You know, it's come and gone, and I'm got to my next destination, and I still don't have, you know, what I need. I love cash cab. Oh my God, I want to go to New York and get in the cash cab. Okay, so I was just having a moment. So, but, you know, so we've gotten to this place where, you know, I feel like, because you have to know, customer service is knowing your client too, right? So So you're feeling that, okay, you're listening to her and the conversations that she's having with her husband. The other thing that we have to know as agents, customer service, is the other agent. You gotta almost get more for yourself into their body and know what they're thinking. And that's the hardest thing, like what do you want? Because I have had conversations, all kinds of conversations with listing agents, and I'm like, what is it that your client needs? What's your bottom, what's their net? They can't tell me any of that. A good listing agent is not going to give up that information. But does it say I'm not gonna ask? What'd you say? What's your name?
Rosa.
Rosa.
Yes.
What did you say, Rosa?
Oh, that they don't say anything. I ask what they need, what I can do to kind of present the offer more, like so the seller can take a look at it. And they just say, no, just make your best, and that's it.
Highest and best, that's all I want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
They
all
won't
it
give you
is.
anything.
anything. So how do I play the game if I don't know the rules? You know, I have limited rules that we all, you know, we sold and bought before, but each transaction is different. Each seller is different. Each buyer, a house is only worth what a seller's gonna sell it for, and what a buyer's gonna buy it for. So what is it that I don't know what to do? So I have to think, you know, put myself in their shoes and what I would do if I was in their position. But that's really hard because I got, none of my multiple offers got accepted, okay? So now I'm at the fourth offer. The husband is saying, just find something already, you know? And she's saying, I'm looking, and you see that you signed 3 different contracts, you know, 4 different contracts, so you know that, you know, making these offers is not working, you know? And I, a buyer agent, I'm walking into these homes and saying, this isn't even worth $375,000.
No.
I don't care if it was in Durham. You know, Durham has, okay, anyway. A lot to offer, let's say. And I'm like, this is not good. Well, prior to all of this, when I'm looking at her search engine, that's why it's important to not just set it up, but actually go on and scan it yourself and pick out a few things. I sent her some new construction stuff in Mebane, North Carolina. I've been farming that area for a while. I live there. So about the last 3 or 4 years, I've been in all these different new construction subdivisions. I know that Mebane, to me, this is what I think of Mebane, is like a country carry, that kind of feel. Are you? It's beautiful there. So, I mean, oh my God, but there are agents there that you have to compete with. I mean, that have been selling real estate since they were 2. You know, and everybody knows them. And they're expecting their sign to be everywhere. And when their sign isn't, and your sign, they're like, what is she doing over there? You know, customer service. So how do you get into a situation or a community that somebody else has gotten locked down? That's hard too. I mean, lead generating is a good way to do that, but if that's not what you're doing, then what else are you doing to bring business or value to yourself, right? So for me, it's talking a lot to people. It's getting in the coffee line at Starbucks and saying, hey, when I get my receipt, hey, you've got a free cup of coffee with my card, you know, and a big smile or whatever, you know, to let them know that I'm friendly if you want to chat. And I don't walk off too fast. So, my coffee. Excuse me, ma'am, I see you're a roast. Yeah, I need you to see that. Let's see that. Let's talk, you know, let's go outside and social distance, you know, because we've got to find really creative ways to get business now. And especially when I'm new, because nobody knows me. Nobody knows that I'm just as good as the older agent who, and I'm not putting down older agents, they're great.
Experienced agents is better.
Experience,
Seasoned
seasoned
agents.
seasoned agents that are older. When I say older, I mean older in real estate careers, right? Because I'm older, but people, you know, the young folks think, well, why aren't you doing some more reels and some TikToks? You know, and I'm like, cause I'm thinking, and my hips don't move like that, and I can't do this all day, I gotta make some money. Right?
Yeah, I think she was looking to listen to that.
What was that?
Oh, my daughter introduced me to TikTok.
She does TikTok. 'cause
Social
her-
media is big.
She does TikTok.
You wanna get in front of your new client? Do that. Try to just do it once. Try to just see what your numbers would look like on your social media to try some reels or something new. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, my husband and I did the change your clothes. Oh my God, it was horrific. We were fussing. You couldn't tell in the video, but I was like, oh, I'm not going to get shirt no more. I had on these big braids with a ball, and I'm trying to wear his baseball cap, and I've got changes put on his. Now his shirt's funky because we've been doing this so many times, you know. And I'm like, we got to get this right. We tried it like at least 5 to 7 times before we got it right. But we got so many numbers from just doing that. You know, like people come to find the things that people love, like dogs and cats, pets. You know, I'm not a lover of snakes and stuff like that. So if you show me a reel like that, I'm just gonna pass it. You know, if you show me a social media picture of you holding a snake, I'm not gonna be interested in that. But a puppy, a cat, people love those kinds of things. I use my granddaughter. Oh my God, I owe her so much money. I'm not kidding. You know, we sing together on social media. She may make a funny thing and I'll say, good morning, Monday, you know, and it'll be her doing something funny. And you want to get your numbers up on social media because that's just where it is. People are seeing that before they even call you, you know, and if they don't see you, you don't have to be strong on social media, but if you don't have a Facebook page or an Instagram, they're like, does that person exist? A lot of people, especially my age, we don't believe in it because we don't think it works and we already have our referral business. But new agents, that's the best customer service area ever to show up there. And I mean, do I agree? No, but we gotta get with the program. We're gonna get left, you know? Bus gonna keep riding by and we're not gonna get on. And, you know, that's just how it is these days. So whatever you're really great at, whatever your hobby is, if it's traveling, I'm an international real estate agent. I have an investor that sent me all over the world just because of my customer service skills, my appearance, right? And it's funny that they say women put on high heel shoes and makeup, you can sell real estate. That's not true. I mean, you know, you can come in the door and look beautiful, but if you don't know what you're doing, that's just a conversation. You look great. Do you know anybody who sells real estate? You know, right? But they sent me all over the world when this Airbnb was growing and being really big. They sent me to Dubai, to Belgium, to London, to...
You were in London when I was in Berlin.
Right. I took the Euro train to Paris. They sent me, I did a deal for them in Brazil. And all of this was referral based. So what I did was, whenever they told me they wanted to visit another country, before that, I would make a call. I'm sorry, no, I wouldn't. I get on our Keller Williams Facebook page, the international one and the one here, and just ask, who does business here? I get a few people, because everybody's gonna be, you don't have to worry about getting a question answered if you go on Facebook. So I would get a few agents, interview them, and by the time it was time to take the trip, maybe a week or two ahead, because I would have to have a meeting with them. These people paid my airfare, my hotel expenses, my car service, and I got I did two, oh my God, what do you call it? Like I could do 2 events at each city, depending on how long I stayed. So I would have interviewed the agent. We sent referrals back and forth. I'm like 30%, because I already know what the real estate is here, right? So like, for instance, in Brazil, we bought an Airbnb there, maybe 700 square, it's been a while, but it was like a 700 square foot condo for $779,000. I traveled to Brazil, to to Toronto, Canada. Sorry, this happened in Toronto, Canada. I go there, I spend the day with the agent. Most of the condos are in 2 different buildings. We're done, we make a decision, I send the pictures back. I suggest the offer based on what he's telling me, not what I know. It took us a little while because you actually have to have citizenship there to buy there, so you can't just get an Airbnb, purchase real estate there without having like an office space or something that says that you're a citizen of that area. So we had to get that done. But when we did, and I went back and honed in on one of the condos, the condo was listed at $779,000. Signed the contract, came back home after this great experience. I got to go to, that wasn't there though. Everything's meshing together. I did go to Harrods though, but I only bought a little bottle of perfume, but I had to have the bag. Okay, anyway. Anyway, I come home and I think like 60 days later, I get a check for 30% of $779,000. I had a trip. I get a $500. Sharon will tell you. I mean, I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And we don't all get those opportunities, but customer service, right? Showing up, doing the work, going the extra mile, people are watching that. And I bring up social media and things like that because that's where they're watching us at. You might see 10 people or, 10 people have seen your page. I guarantee you 100 have ghosted it, not ghosted it, what do you call it?
No, it's a ghost,
Yeah.
but they kind of go through and look at it, but never.
They don't like
respond or
anything, right? And I know they love my granddaughter, but they don't like it, So,
But yeah.
yeah, customer service is everything. Your appearance is about customer service, your whole conversation, and then what you do after you lock in the contract with that. I show up at every inspection, right? I try to, on closing day, I'm gonna have a suit on. Anybody on my team, we're gonna have a suit on. You know why? Because maybe your client is dressed in movie clothes, because they're ready to go. And maybe they don't look that great, but I'm representing them. I'm their agent. I'm always with my badge on. This is my badge. This is not my name tag. This is my badge. Okay? And I take, buy things that go with your outfits. I know, and even you guys, put something on your lapel, look nice, because people are impressed with that. First of all, before you open your mouth, somebody has to see something, so I can get a chance to talk to you.
It's first impression.
Exactly. And I grew up on that. I had a mother that you did not go out. If my little Bobby socks didn't match my clothes, I was gonna get it together before I got out of that house to play. And then I had to go out there. This is something I should be telling my therapist. But then I had to go out there and I couldn't get dirty.
Oh.
Well, how am I supposed to play and I can't get dirty, Mom? Just so unfair. But bring me back, Sharon, to
But no,
some things I could touch
what
on.
you're saying is good, because the bottom line is that, especially, for being y'all broker in charge, even in the Wake Forest office, appearances is great, but customer service is something that we at Keller Williams want every single agent to be like top notch at, because when you're not having good customer service, then that's when I'm getting the call in Miami where I have an agent that I have to reel back in because they have not did a very good job of customer service. And so, and I've had some agents that's called me and actually said, you're so good at responding to me and my complaint about your agent that if I decide not to be with this company, I want to come here because you're so on top of things. That's customer service. Because they want, when you have a client and they call you, if you're busy, then at least text them, say, hold on 1 second, text them, say, I'm busy, can I call you back? And then call them back.
That's
Because
the expectation.
Right, your expectation, when you go to show up to someone and this is your business. when we get to Walmart, if it says open from what to what, we wanna make sure it's open from what to what. And when we get ready to check out, we want them to check them out. We are grumbling if we're sitting in the line, waiting for them to check us out, because all these people, they can have at the cash register, but they only have 2 or 3.
And if they have 5, you should be impressed.
Right.
And
And I'm just saying that, but they have all these agents that they can use. Okay, that's what I'm saying about the
That's right.
cash registers being open. All of these agents can be used, so make sure
I'd
you
like
do
to
it.
share something.
Mhm.
I have a friend of a friend that I was introduced to.
are you
because-
asking for your friend? No.
No. She wanted to know if I did rentals, and I said, well, no, but I'll help people with rentals anytime.
Right.
So she introduced me to a friend, and first place we looked at, the woman loved it. I'd gone through and picked out what I thought was great, and she loved it too. But I said, why, she just sold her house. I said, why didn't your realtor help you? And she said, my realtor told me, I'm done. You gotta go to Zillow to find a rental, because I don't do rentals. I said, well, I don't do rentals either, but I would help you no matter what.
Absolutely.
And even if you didn't have time to work with her on the rentals, you should always have a property management friend.
Yeah.
And an understanding with your property management friend that if you find them a rental, once, you keep up with them
Yes.
with me, and once they are under that year lease and done, they come back to me to purchase the home, because they don't sell houses, they rent.
Mhm.
And you don't rent houses, you sell. So you guys could team up. I have a girl at Red Door Company that I work with all the time, and she knows from an experience, because you gotta get to the experience, because that's the only way that people trust you. We get to the experience where her client comes back to me and purchases a home. Well, I keep sending her people, and now we're doing business together. And it works. It's a revolving door. So you have to find little things to do.
Mhm.
Like these slogans that we have at KW, you have to live up to them. I have my own slogans. Ultra Realty is gonna be ultra professionalism, ultra service, ultra results, ultra experience. If you haven't had that by the end of the transaction, I wanna know. I had a lady that said to me, when we were doing our final walkthrough, I said, and I always talk about this because there's a lot going on at the closing. So, the builder is gonna want a survey, right? So then you don't wanna put your survey, your KW survey or your Ultra Realty survey out there, because it's a lot. They've already signed 200 pieces of paper, so they don't wanna do a survey, but they have to do the builder survey. So I just talked to them at the walkthrough. Hey, if you had to do a survey on your experience with me, what would you give me? Why should I find that out in a review? I want to know now, so maybe I could rectify that. Well, she was like, one of those charges just didn't make sense to me. I don't see why I had to pay it. I have to break down why that was value, because she forgot. I told you what the value was when we sat down at the beginning, but you forget these things. And then they seem like you're being irresponsible at the end of the transaction, but you're not. And all it is a simple conversation. And then you get your 5-star review. And reviews are everything, because that's a part of customer service. And if you don't have a lot when you're in the beginning, that's okay. But the ones that you have, them 2, they should say 5, because that matters. And if you ever get something that's under that, you better have a story under it that says why they see it as 2, because you still see it as 5. I never devalue myself. I'm human, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not without error, but I wanna fix it. And I let people know in the beginning, so that there's no high expectations, so that there's no, acceptance that's really low, that I wasn't gonna tolerate that. Well, I wanna know that in the beginning, because I don't want to let you down. It's like let myself down. But, so this customer service thing, I think, it's already, 11 o'clock. Oh, no, you're fine. So we're gonna shut it down at like 11:30, unless you guys have a lot of questions, for me, and including online. Does anybody have any questions? Because I know I've been kidding around a lot, but real estate is my life, and I'm sure it is with you guys. I don't know if they can open up and ask questions. Does anyone have any? Oh, my numbers are going down up here too, so I ain't been doing too good.
No, we're just soaking up your knowledge.
Goes back to branding, but it all gets into the customer service. having had a couple careers, probably different than most people here, but when somebody Googles me or goes on one of the social medias, they're not seeing my real estate start. They're seeing I started, but they're already saying, you did the Navy for 22 years. You ran your own service company for 20 years. And you're in real estate. That's like 2 strikes already when I started. Not for you looking for somebody to do real estate for you.
Mhm.
So how do you get around that?
Well, I think the best thing that you could do is brand yourself for veterans.
Okay.
I mean, you guys know each other better than
And we're talking
anybody
about
else.
that. Yeah, Sharon's
Yeah.
talking about that, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and let me tell you something, they're the best. First of all, VA loans, they seem really heightened. When I say that, it's probably a bad word, but it's a lot to doing the VA
I did
loan.
a couple of them, yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but all your job is, once you turn them on to their loan officer, the VA loan officer knows how this is gonna go, and they know they need, and they're asking for a lot of information. My job then is to just keep supporting them, keep supporting them. I know that the VA guy asked you for this, this, and this. How can I help you get that done? Do you need, because a lot of veterans, they are going through other things, and they don't understand that, like scanning a lot of paperwork, they're like, they shut down. You know, they even go away sometime. And so your job is to keep texting, just checking in. Hey, how are things going? I tell the VA officer, please keep me, CC me on every email so that I know what's going on. You know, the other hoop that maybe you have to jump through in the VA loan is having the seller pay for the pest inspection. Well, that's their agent's job to explain, if you accept this offer, these are the things that you're going to have to contend with. That's not my job to do that, right? So it's big to me, customer service on that end is supporting that, putting your arm around that veteran and just walking them through, just talking to them, you know, and a lot of times they're just so overwhelmed by everything, but they want a house too, you know, and you want to see them through to the closing table. Because I know, like, I can imagine what that was like. Because at the point where I'm first saying, Mr. Cooper, by the time we're at the closing table, I'm like, Lieutenant Cooper, you know, and he's like, because one other thing about, and maybe not all veterans, but the ones that I know are so humble, you know, they're just happy that they served and now they're retired, or, you know, they're continuing to serve, but it's provided for their family. It's something to be proud of. So, you know, for them to buy a house from that whole journey, that's like the epitome of this is why I did this. So that I could use my opportunities from the service to do things that, you know, I wanted to do for my family that I might not have been able to do otherwise. A 100% finance loan, you know, but you also have to set the expectation, you know, veteran, that we do have to do a due diligence. We do have to do an earnest money. You're going to get that back at the end, but I'd like for you to at least start this process with a couple $1,000s for me. You got to do that, because they're like, as soon as they get to the house and you're like, this is the one you love, yeah, okay, we're gonna have to put well, it might be $500 down. Oh, you ain't telling me that I gotta put no $500. I ain't got no $500. I'm like, if you don't talk about that, then everything else is like, and that could have been the house, but their mindset is that ain't happening today. So in the land of real estate right now, that house is gone that day.
Right.
Right.
And
So
that's what he can do. So for you to get into the business, since you have these 2 careers, is to hone into what you know.
mhm.
And
Call
you know
everybody
how to
in
do
your
a VA,
phone.
Because a lot of us, I mean, for me, a VA will be new for me.
Right.
Even though I've been in the business for a long time, but that's something you can do, and you start branding yourself as a person who can help people, you know, veterans get that, and then people will start going to you. That's the way to break the ice, and then of course you.
Because it builds your reputation.
Right.
And people stop
Can I
thinking
ask you a
about,
question?
Yeah.
no,
Is this customer service for commercial real estate or residential real estate?
everybody,
Are you ready for me to take over, or?
come on. Tom, come on, Tom.
She she is a great teacher, a pretty good person. And, anyway, I'm Tom Eldridge, I'm a commercial broker. I just wanted to stick my nose in there and give her some grief. All right.
Does anybody have any questions on the Zoom? Have I said anything that was interesting or that was worth you coming on to the Zoom? No thumbs up, no love?
Loved it.
Yes, I have a question.
Thank you. I thought it was a great class.
Nobody? Oh, no thumbs up. I don't get a thumbs up or a love. Okay. Oh, like
I give you a
heart.
thumbs up.
Okay, I'll take the 3 of you guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Rest of
the
y'all don't come back. No, I'm kidding. This is a lot to stand up in front of your peers. And so do I have my back to you now or am I facing you?
We have your side.
Look at the camera.
Where? Oh,
Now we see you.
oh my God, I should have been holding my stomach in. Oh, shucks. And Josh, I know Josh. I've been on a couple of meetings with him. He's so serious. Oh my God. You're not, are you? You're a teddy bear. Yeah. I can't hear you. Turn your volume up.
It's on.
That would be us.
I don't get to hear him.
I don't know.
We
Aw.
usually do, but it
Have
has
to
to
turn our volume up here.
I don't know what it was.
Well, maybe they've been asking questions all the time and they were like, they ain't even
They
responding.
never chat.
I don't know. She's controlling it.
Oh, who is?
Shot? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, thank you anyway for coming. I hope I said something
Yeah,
through my
that's
corny
something.
jokes that helped. I think there was some other things that I just wanted to touch on.
And she wanted, and Jennifer had a couple questions.
Oh, yes.
But I'll ask all three of them, and see if it touches on anything you wanted to touch on. So what is your follow-up after the close look like? Like, do you have like a strategic, like follow-up 3 days, 3 weeks, 3
Mhm.
months?
So the best money that you can spend, especially as a new agent, is transaction coordinators.
Oh, yeah, after, yeah.
Yeah, and so what I do, and what she does is set me up on a 30, 60, and 90 day.
30, okay.
And then I set my own self up by that time on some type of, because you guys, we have the KW command where we can do the ads and smart plans, right? Just checking in. In that 30, 60, and 90 days, I try to find out birthdays, anniversaries, things like that, and put them on my phone calendar so that it rings and I can like reach out. And I don't, I call people on the phone because I want them to remember my cute little voice, my personality, and a text message. Text messages are okay. I discourage them because, especially when I gotta be the bad guy, it doesn't always come across that good, you know? So, and how you know is like they don't respond or, you know, those emojis start coming up, you know, either the tears ones or the ones like they're kind of mad at you. And that will happen if you have to change the closing date. Or if you want one more form, you know, that by the time you get to that professional service form, they're like, oh, I ain't done nothing else, you know. But so those things, but follow-up is everything, because that's the biggest part of customer service. That's how you're gonna get your next business. We don't give out lavish gifts because we were taught that you're not supposed to give out really expensive things. So for our buyers, what we do is we go to, so we can pour back into the real estate world, we go and get the black and gold, because that's kind of my brand. They have a black and gold buyer's book that organizes everything for your client. It's $25, I think. And then we went to Vista and had coffee mugs made. And we put that and that book in a bag. If it's a couple, then you put 2 coffee mugs that have your branding on them. If it's, tell me your name again? Jennifer. If it's Jennifer Does Luxury on the coffee mug, every time they drink, you know, have a Keurig, they're going, you know, remember you and talk about you. And they're on social media drinking out the cup and stuff like that, you know, not intentionally, but they're just having coffee, you know, on doing a TikTok. So, you know, you don't know where your brand is gonna go. So that's really important to give a gift. and you don't have to give anything lavish. And what I do then is I always reiterate, you having a housewarming? I've gotten business before from the housewarming where I just went there with a gift card and a cute little bag, black and gold. You're red, it doesn't matter, something pretty. And at the party, I've given them something else and they're like, wow, she is really nice. And then I'm giving out cards as I talk to people at the housewarming. And I don't stay long. I don't stay the whole time. I just stay long enough to have a conversation with everybody in the room, check on my buyers and make sure that they're still as satisfied as they were the last day, and I go. And let me finish my story about the girl that I just went under contract with. So four offers didn't get accepted. Took her out to a place called Old Fields, it's a subdivision in Mebane, was really outside of Har River. The house was on the market for $385,000. She had just made an offer for $375 for something that I wanted to say, do I have to leave you here? But she wanted it. So, I was over like I was like, I gotta pick my battles here, because they're getting ready to go away. They're getting ready to sit down is what I call it. And so at that house, I went in the kitchen, got comfortable, started texting and answering calls back, let them walk through the house by themselves, let them talk. They came down one time and said how this house is too big, girl. This is too much. And I said, come on, let's walk. And I walked and I said, you can make this your workout room. You can make this your theater room. Just get some dark curtains, paint this a dark gray, something pretty. That when it's, in the daytime, it still looks attractive. Get you 2 chairs for you and your husband. That's it, right? And then the other, because it was 5 bedrooms, the other 2 bedrooms are for your children, because they're coming back with these grandbabies, right? And then you got a beautiful owner suite with a gorgeous bath. And you were just getting ready to pay $375 over, $15 over asking, so you weren't gonna get any value out of what you were just getting ready to purchase, no equity. And I said, and hey, let's offer $380 on this house, because I had already done my research, how long the house had been on the market, talked to the agent before I took them over there, asked if there was any offers already on the table, all those things that you have to do. Please forgive me for not looking at you a lot.
No,
I'm
you're
just
fine,
always
you're
straight head. I don't want you to think, because, I want
Okay.
everybody to feel included. But so then we made the $380,000 offer. I'm praying the whole time still, because this is the pandemic, real estate, everything's different now. So where you knew a lot and you were pretty assured about a lot of things that you were doing before, we're in uncharted territory, on uncharted waters. So,
This was new construction?
You can offer less than what new construction
She's
is?
the only person that I know in the entire real estate business who negotiates on a new construction.
Okay.
Every single time, and sometimes she comes away with $5,000 that they'll give back to the clients.
and here's
That's
the
why
big
she's
thing.
teaching this class.
Here's the big thing.
Uh-huh.
I love to give this gift at closing. I love to give my client money.
Yeah.
So even when they say you have to deal with my preferred lender, okay, we'll deal with your preferred lender. And I let my clients get in front of them, because as long as in that 30-day window, they're not gonna hit them too hard. I mean, some people don't even have to worry about their credit scores, but some people do. And I don't know, I don't ask about credit scores. So I'm always thinking, we're right at the cusp. I don't wanna, do too many movements on that, because I could be a point away from them not being approved again. So within that 30 days, I try to make sure that we've kind of taken care of that part of that situation, because I'm not an expert in that area. And I don't have to be. That's another thing. New agents, stop feeling like you gotta know everything, because you don't. I'm gonna tell you, the first couple of years, I didn't wanna know I need to start saying that. I'm trying to work with my granddaughter about saying stuff like that. Because I was gonna say, I didn't wanna know nothing. I didn't wanna know anything about how the loan was put together. But some of us feel like, oh, I gotta know this and I gotta know, but you can't talk about it because it's illegal. We're not even supposed to be talking about it. So I wanna know the logistics, but that first couple of years, I already know I have a mouthful of spaghetti. And if I open it, it's all gonna come out. So I don't need, sorry. So I don't need to know, because if I know, I almost feel obligated to share. You got these clients that when you have them in the house, they're saying, how much you think my mortgage is gonna be on? I need to stop acting like I'm talking like a grandmother.
It's okay. It's okay.
But how much you think this house is gonna be? How much, is my mortgage gonna be on this house? Or they're calling me afterwards saying, asking me financial questions, and I'm like, I don't know. Well, you got a mortgage calculator? I'm like, well, I do, but there are a lot of other things, intricate details that I don't have on a mortgage calculator. Like, I don't know what your interest rate is gonna be locked in at. I don't know if you're buying points back. I don't know, yes, you got a conventional loan, or you got an FHA loan. I need to talk to, first of all, before I don't even know if you're gonna be paying $380,000 for this house. So I can't tell you what your mortgage is gonna be till I'm the negotiator. So I've gotta figure all those things out. And let me do that, because that's what I'm really good at, while you make a phone call to your bank. Because, you always have expectation. I can't do everything for you, because they do think we wear all hats, but I can't be messing up my hair.
All right, so anyway, you offered 380, and then what happened?
I offered 380,000. They still had the due diligence down at 6,000. We said we will leave that 2,000 in earnest, because these are things that we already discussed that's liquid money that we can do. It's on a new house, so 5,000 is okay. I've already had, and we just put this offer in a week and a half ago. We've already had the home inspection done. We're gonna review that tonight. I would have been talking about that today, because I have no patience. I'm worse than my clients. So as soon as something comes, if I send you something and I need to get it done and you don't do it, I'm already emailing back, okay, thanks, it was taken care of. And I hope you feel bad, because that's just, I think that everybody has that expectation. If I wanted to know a week later, I mean, what am I gonna do with that? I wanna know news right away. And I'm thinking that the buyer, if they got a home inspection sent to them via email, they wanna discuss it right away. That's important. That's a whole nother set of negotiations. It could be, So anyway, I had them do that. This is a new construction house that was sold by a private builder. So we did an addendum, because I wanna make sure that he's still gonna offer a new home walkthrough and blue tape, because we saw some things that we didn't like, right? So we wanna make sure he's gonna deliver the house in builder condition, pristine condition, right? And that all the meat and potatoes work. So we did an addendum that said, we wanna make sure that, we know this is a new construction property. We wanna make sure that within this 30-day close, we get a new home orientation, a blue tape walkthrough, and a promise to fix whatever is wrong with the house within reason. So we did that.
So you submitted that with the offer,
Yes.
or, okay?
Yep, submitted it with the offer. The only thing he made changes on is where I said seller warranty, because it is a third-party warranty. And like I said, we don't know everything, we make mistakes. That's why we have the strike-through. The strike-through, initial, keep it going, But if we don't make mistakes, then we don't get into the solution. And if we don't ask questions, then we don't get answers, and we just keep going, not knowing. So I think like the big thing about in the end of this, the customer service is to really do what you do good, right? Go the extra mile and make your clients feel like you are going the extra mile. I had a client, and I'm both sides. I work listings and buyers, but I love buyers, sellers and buyers. I had a buyer last year. She had cancer, and she would come to her meetings with lots of her family members, and I had to explain, because we're in COVID too. I had to explain that they were there to assist her, and that we would practice social distancing. Sometimes they waited in the car. I would be with her all the time. I would say, can I straighten your scarf for you? And she said, yes. I mean, we became the best of friends. In one of the new houses, when she finally decided on her new house, it was a brand new home. It was a first floor master and an upstairs bonus. And they had a chair in the office. And she was so the cancer was in her bones. And so sometimes she would not be able to walk good. I would put her in the chair, in the office chair, and we push her all around the house. I didn't care how I looked, what that appeared to look like to her family or anything like that. I'm very good friends with her son now. Sorry, I'm practicing social distance. Very good friends with her son now. We have coffee at Starbucks. We cry together. She lived in that house for 6 months. When she was leaving us in the hospital, they called me. They said, we just want you to know that she's not going to be here much longer, and then we'll give you any follow-up information about where we're going to leave her, where she's going to rest at. But that was big for me. They will never forget me, and I'll never forget them. And those are the things that I feel like are the most important deals that we have. Those things that, I feel like that was her last thing that she wanted out of life. I just want to be a homeowner and make sure that my son is okay before I go. I feel like she knew that she was going. And to let me adjust her scarf, to let me push her around the house, almost throwing her out the chair because I'm trying to get from the wood to the carpet, us having moments of laughter, me making her coffee when we were doing the conversation with the on-site agent, me sitting with her through this whole thing, checking on her when it didn't have anything to do with real estate. Those are the things that, to me, we have to do as agents, and that's real customer service. Yeah, I'm gonna end with that. I think that's a good place to end. But I am around here. My office is right here on the corner. If you guys ever want to chat or, go out for coffee or come into the office or invite me into yours, I would love, it's enough business out here for everybody. And when you know something, share it, help one another, and that's what this is all about, we chose this career, it didn't choose us, and it takes a lot to get in this room. So, and don't be intimidated by those people who pass, because they have to be like us. They gotta show up for the career. Nobody knocked on my door and was like, I've got 5 clients for you, I've been waiting for you to pass that, I was like, where are the people at? Where are they? I need some clients. I cleaned listings, and I cleaned listings when I first got into this business. I would reach out to a listing agent in my office and ask her, could I clean her house? They were getting a listing prepared for market. And I would say, I have a cleaning service. I can clean your house, your listing, and get it ready. And while I was over there, I'd be passing out cards in the neighborhood, right? Letting them know there's a listing coming on and there's gonna be an open house. I ain't asked nobody what they're gonna be. There's gonna be an open house this Sunday from 2 to 4. I believe I made the Sunday 2 to 4. I would go back to the listing agent, and when they're paying me for doing the service, I might be $400 to clean the whole house. But an empty house is a lot of work. It's more than a house full of furniture. But when they would pay me, I would say, hey, would you mind if I did your open house for you on Sunday? I'll host it and do everything myself. And I looked up and researched how do you do an open house, asked people in the office questions about how you do an open house, and put my signs out the day before, took my balloons over there. I ain't making no cookies, but I'ma smell good. And I went to the open house. I would get buyers from their open houses. Maybe not sell their listing, but it sold at some point. But that was my first interaction with how am I gonna make it as a real estate agent. So.
I love it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Relationships, that's what I can see it all over.
It's everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Oh. Thank you guys for taking the time to come and sit with me. Did I lose some more people? Oh, but Kyle and Josh, thank you guys. You guys are interacting. I appreciate you. Hi,
Thank you.
Shanika. Thank you guys for coming. Oh, and I let you out early, so I get points for that, right? Yay!
Definitely.
Thumbs up.
Stephanie on the call.
Yeah, right. Early lunch.
I just wanna like stay with you for like a month and just be your little shadow.
Hey, and you're welcome to do it. Call me. I gave you a card. You know, I love it. I have interns. Some of them I teach